welcome. You're watching Express News, where we bring you a quick wrap-up of all that's made news during the day from around the world. I'm Samriddhi Goyal. Let's begin. India today said that Arunachal Pradesh is an integral and inalienable part of India, and Indian leaders routinely visit the state as they did in other parts of the country. Briefing media in New Delhi, the MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi condemned China's objection to the Vice President's visit to Arunachal Pradesh. The MEA spokesperson said that it has an interest in further studies and data on the origin of the coronavirus and called for cooperation by all concerned. MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said that we have our interest in further studies and data on the issue of the origin of the virus, need for understanding and cooperation by all concerned. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman participated in the 4th G20 Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors meeting under the Italian presidency, held yesterday in Washington, D.C. on the sidelines of the IMF World Bank annual meetings. The finance minister suggested that keeping up the support, building resilience, enhancing productivity and structural reforms should be our policy goals. On the auspicious occasion of Vijayadashmi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver a video address in an event organized by the Defence Ministry to dedicate the 7 new defence companies to the nation tomorrow. Defence Minister, MOS Defence and representatives from the Defence Industry Associations will be present on the occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will perform the Bhumi Pujan ceremony of Hostel Phase 1 constructed by Saurashtra Patel Seva Samaj in Surat on Friday via video conferencing. Gujarat Chief Minister will also be present during the event. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today laid the foundation stone of the National Forensic Science University at Dharbandora in Goa. He also inaugurated the transit campus for NFSU at Kurti Ponda. Addressing the function, Home Minister Amit Shah said that former Goa CM Manohar Parrikar gave the state its identity, and he will always be remembered for providing one rank, one pension to the armed forces of the country. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today conducted virtually the final breakthrough blast of Sela Tunnel in Arunachal Pradesh. This tunnel goes through Sela Pass and is expected to cut down the distance to China border through Tawang by 10 kilometers. The Sela Tunnel's construction work is expected to be over by June 2022. In this address, Rajnath Singh commended BRO for making significant contribution to the progress of the nation by constructing of roads, bridges, tunnels and airfields at record altitudes under extreme weather conditions and making remote areas visible on connectivity maps. The Defence Minister also flagged off a motorcycle expedition of the Border Roads Organisation from the National War Memorial in New Delhi. The BRO's motorcycle expedition will cover a distance of about 20,000 kilometers over the next 75 days, passing through many states and union territories of the country. The personnel will interact with local people, school children, gallantry award winners and ex-servicemen. The Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and CDS Bipin Rawat today participated in the SCO International webinar on the role of women in the armed forces. Speaking at the event, the Defence Minister underlined that one must recognize and reinforce the role of women in armed forces and in other wider contribution in all spheres of security and nation building. President Ram Nath Kovind reached today on a 2-day visit to Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir. On the first day, President Kovind performed the Sindhu Darshan Puja at the Sindhu Ghat in Leh. He will celebrate this era with the soldiers of the Indian Army in Dras on Friday and pay his tribute at the Kargil War Memorial. The Chief of Army Staff General M.M. Naravane today met Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and discussed enhancing existing defence cooperation between India and Sri Lanka. Earlier, the Sri Lankan Prime Minister's office said the positive interaction will also cement the bilateral relations between the two countries at all levels, including people-to-people connections. As part of the ongoing India-US Defence Cooperation, the Joint Military Training Exercise Ex-Yudh Abhyas 2021 will be conducted at Alaska in USA from 15th to 29th of October, and this will be the 17th edition of the joint exercise, which is hosted alternately between both the countries. The exercise aims at enhancing understanding, cooperation and interoperability between the two armies. On the occasion of the World Standards Day, Bureau of Indian Standards organized a day-long event on the theme of Shared Vision for a Better World, Standards for Sustainable Development Goals at its headquarters in New Delhi. MOS for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Ashwini Kumar Chaubey, pressed on the significance of environmental sustainability through standardization. Department of Biotechnology has launched the country's first One Health Consortium. This program envisages carrying out surveillance of important bacterial, viral and parasitic infections of zoonotic and transboundary pathogens in India. The consortium, consisting of 27 organizations, is one of the biggest One Health programs launched by the Government of India in post-COVID times. The Union Minister of Coal Mines, Prahlad Joshi, today assured that no power plants in the country will be hindered due to shortage of coal supply. The Union Coal Minister today inspected the Ashok Coal project of the Central Coalfields Limited in Chhatra district of Jharkhand to take a stock of the coal production from CIL subsidiaries. My Parkings app, developed under the flagship of BECIL, was launched today by the INB Minister Anurag Singh Thakur. My Parkings is a IoT technology-enabled end-to-end digital solution, and that will be available for use with mobile app both in Android and iOS platforms. Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan did not get any relief from the special court today, as the order on his bail application was reserved till October 20th. The Narcotics Control Bureau continued to oppose Aryan Khan's bail plea in the special court today. Over 2 crore income tax returns have been filed on the e-filing portal of the Income Tax Department. The e-filing portal of the Income Tax Department has marked a receipt of more than 2 crore IT returns as on October 13th. Now, over 13.44 crore unique taxpayers have logged in till 13th of October, and approximately 54.70 lakh taxpayers have availed to forgot password facility to obtain their passwords. The 30-share Sensex on Thursday surged 569 points to end at an all-time high of 61,306. The 50-share Nifty also rose 177 to record 18,339. Gold prices were up by 84 rupees at the MCX to end at 48,000 rupees per 10 gram. Silver prices were also up by 353 rupees at the MCX to end at 63,240 rupees per kilogram. The Indian rupee rose by 11 paise to close at 75 rupees 26 paise provisional against the US dollar. Crude oil was also up by 54 rupees, 0.89% to end at 6,116 rupees. The fuel prices were hiked again by 35 paise each on Thursday after a pause of 2 days. Now petrol is selling at 104.79 rupees per litre in Delhi, while diesel is at 93.52 rupees per litre in the national capital. In a move to improve availability of edible oils and stabilize the prices in the festive season, the central government has scrapped basic customs duty as well as slashed agri-cess on crude varieties of palm, soybean and sunflower oil. Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, or CBIC, has notified that the duty cuts effective from today onwards and will remain in force till March 31st, 2022. Crude palm oil will now attract Agri-Infrastructure Development cess of 7.5%, while the rate will be 5% for crude soybean oil and crude sunflower oil. Post-reduction, the effective customs duty on crude varieties of palm will be 8.25% on soybean. The effective customs duty will be 5.5%, and on sunflower oil, it will be 5.5%. Besides, the basic customs duty on refined varieties of sunflower, soybean, palmolene and palm oil has been slashed to 17.5%, each from 3.5% at present. With the administration of 35,66,347 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage exceeded 96.82 crore as per provisional reports till 7 a.m. today. The recovery of 19,808 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients since the beginning of the pandemic to 3,33,62,709. India's recovery rate stands at 98.07%, and recovery rate is currently at its highest peak since March 2020. Less than 50,000 daily new cases that are being reported for 109 consecutive days now. 18,987 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active caseload is presently at 2,06,586, which is the lowest in 215 days. Active cases presently constitute 0.61% of the country's total positive cases. The testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. The last 24 hours saw a total of 13,01,083 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted over 58.76 crore cumulative tests. Weekly positivity rate at 1.44% remains less than 3% for the last 111 days now, and the daily positivity rate was reported to below 46%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 3% for the last 45 days and below 5% for 128 consecutive days now. Now, more than 23 crore 99 lakh people from across the world so far have been infected by COVID-19. Over 21 crore 73 lakh patients have recovered from the virus globally so far. The highly infectious coronavirus has claimed the lives of over 48 lakh 90,000 people worldwide. The United States has been witnessing a spike in daily new cases due to the Delta variant of the COVID-19. Over 4 crore 55 lakh people in the country have been infected by the virus, while more than 7 lakh 39,000 people have died due to COVID. World Health Organization has proposed 26 experts to form its new scientific advisory group for the origins, or SAGO, of novel pathogens to probe the source of the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. The proposal of 26 members comes ahead of a 2-week period of public consultation. WHO's top emergency expert Mike Ryan said SAGO may be the last chance to establish the origin of SARS-CoV-2. WHO technical lead on COVID-19 voiced hope that there would be further WHO-led international missions to China, which required its cooperation. Reports of China doing tests for antibodies present in Wuhan residents in 2019 will be absolutely critical to understand the virus origins, she added. Indonesia's top holiday destination, Bali, has reopened to foreign tourists after 18 months of COVID-19 pandemic hiatus. However, the international airport in the island was empty since no flights were scheduled to land. The United States will lift restrictions at its land borders with Canada and Mexico for fully vaccinated foreign nationals in early November, ending historic curbs on non-essential travelers in place since March 2020 to address the COVID-19 pandemic. U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas in a statement said the administration next month will begin allowing travelers from Mexico and Canada who are fully vaccinated for COVID-19 to enter the United States for non-essential purposes, including to visit friends and family or for tourism via land and ferry border crossings. However, unvaccinated visitors will still be barred from entering the United States from Canada or Mexico at land borders. Mexico also cheered the U.S. decision to open their shared border in November after more than 18 months of pandemic restrictions. The world's busiest land border, where nearly 1 million people crossed each day before the coronavirus pandemic broke out, has been closed to non-essential travel since March 2020. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the United States is ready to consider all options if Iran is unwilling to return to the 2015 nuclear deal. Blinken said Washington plans to press ahead with its plan to reopen the U.S. consulate in Jerusalem as part of efforts to deepen ties with Palestinians. With shipping containers carrying toys and electrical goods being diverted from the United Kingdom's biggest port because of being full, Britain assured its countrymen that there is no shortage of gifts and people should not go for panic buying for Christmas. World's largest container shipping company, Maersk, has diverted some vessels from Felixstowe port in eastern England because a lack of truck drivers means there is nowhere left to stack containers. Aid agencies delivered food blankets and cash to hundreds of displaced families in Kabul on Wednesday as humanitarian assistance begins to trickle. Following warnings, the country faces potential catastrophic famine this winter. The distribution of aid to 324 families represents a tiny fraction of the needs in Afghanistan. Japan's new Prime Minister Fumio Kishida dissolved the parliament, setting the stage for an election at the end of the month. The campaign will kick off on October 19 formally, followed by the vote on October 31st. In Norway, at least 5 people have been killed and 2 more injured after a man used a bow and arrow to attack them. The incident happened in the town of Kongsberg, southwest of the capital Oslo, on Wednesday evening. The attacker had been apprehended and a large-scale investigation has been launched. Kongsberg police chief said police would investigate whether the attack amounted to an act of terror. Following the attacks, the police directorate said it had immediately ordered officers nationwide to carry firearms. Norwegian police are normally unarmed, but officers have access to guns and rifles when needed. Germany paid tribute to its soldiers who served nearly 20 years in Afghanistan till its evacuation mission that ended in August this year before the Taliban took control of Kabul. Hurricane Pamela slammed into the western Mexican state of Sinaloa as a Category 1 hurricane. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Pamela hit before losing some force and being downgraded to a tropical storm. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez visited La Palma to assess the damage caused by the eruption of the Cumbre Vieja volcano. He said that possible new aid packages are being considered to help the affected residents of La Palma in addition to €206 million that had already been approved. The 2021 World Heritage Festival, titled Jeju, a volcanic island and its lava caves, was held online to promote tourism on the picturesque island in South Korea. The island's beautiful landscape was shown to audiences via the screen, with well-known singers' music accompanying the video. Jeju-do Island is the first UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site in South Korea. An installation of 9 giant wands was unveiled in central London on Wednesday to mark the 20th anniversary of the first Harry Potter film in the Wizarding franchise. The 15-foot-tall wands from the Wizarding World installed in London's Leicester Square are exact replicas used by 9 characters from the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts series. Standing on the site of the premiere of the first film, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, in 2001, the wands will illuminate in the square until October 25th. The wand installation will then move to the 4 UK cities of Hull, Stoke, Reading and Birmingham from March 2022 onwards for 1 week respectively, in the lead up to the release of Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore on April 8, 2022. Frieze London opened its doors to the public on Wednesday, with over 160 galleries from 40 countries around the world exhibiting a collection of artwork. Running alongside Frieze Masters until October 17 in Regent's Park, the art fair showcases contemporary art, complete with a section called Focus devoted to newer galleries which have been open 12 years or less. This year, the showcase has collaborated with 2 environmental organizations, Gallery Climate Coalition and Platform Earth, to encourage people and galleries to engage with the issue of climate change. Surrounded by glaciers and turquoise forts of southwestern Greenland, a mining company is betting that a rock similar to that of the Apollo missions brought back from the moon can solve some of the world's climate change problems. The light-colored rock has drawn interest from mining companies and investors hoping to sell it as a climate-friendly source of aluminium, and even from the space agency NASA. Actor William Shatner soared aboard a Blue Origin rocket ship on a suborbital trip and landed in the Texas desert on Wednesday to become, at age of 90, the oldest person ever in space, and an experience he called profound. The US billionaire businessman Jeff Bezos' company carried out its second tourist flight. Shatner was one of the 4 passengers to journey for roughly 10 minutes to the edge of the space aboard the white, fully autonomous 60-foot tall New Shepard spacecraft, which took off from Blue Origin's launch site. With high demand and numerous sustainability challenges facing traditional coffee farming, Finnish scientists say they have successfully produced coffee cells in a bioreactor through cellular agriculture that they say smells and tastes like the conventional coffee. VTT is developing coffee production through plant cells in its laboratory. In the process, cell cultures floating in bioreactors filled with a nutrient medium are used to produce various animal and plant-based products. Groups on La Palma Island are using drones to care for overlooked victims of the volcano, animals left stranded and starving by advancing lava flows. Several raw-boned dogs lie curled up on an islet of ash-covered earth surrounded by volcanic lava in the mountainous area of Todok until a drone appears in the sky to drop tiny packages with food and water. The animals lift their muzzles in hope and soon can be seen ambling towards the packages, which they pry open with their teeth and paws to have the badly needed nutrition. The groups have been selflessly feeding the dogs with the drone since October 8th and are resolved to continue as long as safety and meteorological conditions allow. Kolkata Knight Riders set up title clash with Chennai Super Kings after defeating Delhi Capitals in a last-over thriller in Qualifier 2 at Sharjah last night at the ongoing Indian Premier League. Afghanistan cricket team has reached UAE for the upcoming T20 World Cup tournament. The board says they are very positive that the team will perform even better this time and with the victory in their minds. Cricket Australia Chief Executive Nick Hockley says preparation for the upcoming Ashes series are full steam ahead. Hockley added that various travel exemptions and biosecurity protocols for the English touring squad were being worked through. In football, India reaches South Asian Football Federation or SAF Championship final after beating defending champion Maldives 3-1 at Malé. German third seed Alexander Zverev moved into the quarterfinals at the Indian Wells on Wednesday with a straight sets victory over France's Gaël Monfils. Second seed Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece rallied from a one-set deficit for the second match in a row, defeating 22nd seed Alex de Minaur of Australia 6-7, 7-6, 6-2. On Sunday 17th of October 2021, the IOC Executive Board will gather at the Pierre de Coubertin Monument in ancient Olympia to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the creation of the Executive Board. Australian marathon swimmer Chloe McCardle sets new record for swimming the English Channel after completing her 44th crossing on Wednesday. And Brazil is all set for their World Cup qualifier against Uruguay scheduled for today. The match is set to be played at the Arena Amazonia Soccer Stadium in Manaus. Mohamed Salah has been named the PFA Fans Player of the Month for September in the Premier League. Bollywood actor Sunny Deol has revealed a poster with 2 written along with the tagline, "The Katha continues." The poster is speculated to belong to the sequel of Gadar, Ek Prem Katha. Actor Rajkumar Rao will be next seen in a new film titled Bheed. Actor Pankaj Tripathi is all set to return as the lawyer Madhav Mishra in the 3rd season of the hit series Criminal Justice. M. Night Shyamalan's next thriller has an official title, Knock at the Cabin. The filmmaker revealed the name on his social media accounts. The Netflix record-breaking hit Squid Game has not been renewed yet, but creator Hwang Dong-hyuk has said that he has some ideas up his sleeve. Squid Game has officially become Netflix's biggest launch. Sony Pictures Studios has picked up a coming-of-age dramedy titled No Hard Feelings that would star actor Jennifer Lawrence with Gene Stupnitsky in the director's chair. Ahead of the launch of its 3rd season, makers of hit stalker drama You have announced its 4th season as well. You Season 3 will debut on Netflix tomorrow. The late Canadian actor Christopher Plummer has been honoured with the unveiling of a Canadian commemorative stamp in his birth town, celebrating his 70th year acting career. Filmmaker Maggie Gyllenhaal led the star-studded cast of her directorial debut, The Lost Daughter, on the red carpet in the British capital on Wednesday for the movie's London Film Festival premiere. And behind-the-scenes workers on Hollywood film and television shows will launch a nationwide strike next week unless contract talks with producers are resolved. And that's all in today's edition of Express News. Until we meet again, stay safe and follow COVID-appropriate behavior. Thanks for watching.